All right. So Jared randomly started the show early, 2 minutes early, randomly. So we have an intro, or I was planning on doing an intro, but this is the SCL Q&A with FPS gameplay team, and like I heard voices I wasn't expecting to hear. So we'll see how this all plays out. It might be more than just FPS guns. I think it's going to be the entire like character experience potentially, which will be pretty cool. So looking forward to this. Let's see how it goes. But Jared got into something very, very quickly because they were calling him a nerd.
This entire... I'm serious. Start the show. Go to camera. Go ahead.
I can pause on Twitch now, so it makes life easier.
Oh. That's right. This entire spaceship... Go to the wide. This entire spaceship is... Oh, you can't see it in the wide. That doesn't work. The wide's the only shot. You don't see anything. Go to the other cameras. Look at that. This entire spaceship is full of all this stuff behind them. Like, this is all my stuff. Yeah. There's very few stuff that actually belongs to CIG in this thing. These are all my things that I've collected over the years.
How's volume? Needs to go up a bit, right?
One of the big things, like when they said we were going to finally build the spaceship, I'm like, great, I'm going to get so much of my stuff out of my house.
Well, storage space.
Which just freed up more room in my house to then get more stuff.
It's cheaper than paying for storage.
That's true.
Yeah. Now this is my new guy. We're not technically at 4 o'clock yet, so we haven't started. We're still on my time, people. Look at this guy. This is my newest guy. This came just today. Can we zoom in?
That's his ship.
Nope. There it is. There it is. There it is. This is my
It's not even in focus.
In disco paint. This just arrived this morning from the tremendous Policus.
It's less blurry in real life.
It's less blurry in real life. Actually, this might be your diabetes. This is actually crystal clear. You should get your glasses checked.
I love that they're shitting on the production.
Anyway, I collect all kinds of stuff.
I don't know why I love that.
I just got into those Lego modular buildings.
Yeah, he doesn't have one of these.
I started building those Lego modular buildings.
Ready?
And then I took my Sesame Street and I bought a second Sesame Street. And
I love this camera.
To actually make a Sesame Street modular building that goes inside the street with all the others. Mm-hmm. And then I've gotten crazy, and then I've replaced all of the sidewalks with cobblestone now. So I found a third-party vendor that was selling me like 500 of the little bits, and so I've got all this multicolored cobblestone now instead of things. And I've just
Lego
designed
cobblestone?
How big of a house do you need for all this shit?
Just the 1x1 studs,
right.
The studs and the flats and the circles and the squares and the different colors.
Yep.
You know, the sand blue, which is a lovely sand blue. Your shirt's like a sand blue.
Great.
Your shirt's like a lovely
there
sand
you go.
blue.
He's blending in.
But done the cobblestone, and then my next thing is I've just designed a new like Victorian style light post, because the lamp posts that come with those are kind of bad. So I'm going to replace all the lamp posts and stuff. So.
All right, it's Star Citizen time.
You just lock in with everything. You know what I mean? I've never seen you not fully 110% in something.
So.
That's true.
Am I about to be told off?
No. About 2.5 years ago,
yeah,
I availed myself of the wonderful NHS and whatnot.
Yeah.
And I went and got diagnosed. And, I'm going to my GP, we're doing the thing, it's like telling him about my whole life and how my life works and why I don't sleep and what this. And the guy listens to me for about 15 minutes. And then walks over to a little spindle, pulls out a little 3-panel pamphlet about hyperfocus ADHD, and hands me this pamphlet. And there's nothing more devastating than realizing this unique snowflake that you think you are is completely in a 3-panel pamphlet. It's just like, is this you? And I look at it, and it's like the cheat code to my entire existence. And I'm like, oh.
Did you ever get on medication? Because I didn't want to, because I worried it would fix me.
No, I'm not on any medication. Anybody that watches SCL regularly can attest to that.
I was gonna say, because what if you're not funny anymore?
Yeah.
Like,
but that hyperfocus.
Zach, I got news for you.
So what's your concern?
I don't know. All right, projecting.
Yeah. But the hyperfocus is the only way that I get anything done. All right, time to start the show? Yeah. All right. Hi, everybody. Welcome to Star Citizen Live Q&A, FPS combat and gameplay. I'm your host, Jared Huckabee. If you've never seen Star Citizen Live before, it's where we take about an hour out of the end of our week, invite our developers on, and make them answer a whole bunch of questions. Talk about various aspects of Star Citizen, its continuing development, why this doesn't work, where are you going with this. Basically, most topics are on the table.
Most questions
the
asked
guest on the show
ever
can actually speak
for
to
an
them.
SCL,
It's usually
apparently.
the hardest part. A lot of the questions that people like to ask
Or
are
in 2
great
years.
questions, but they're for developers who aren't on the show this week. On the show this week, we have 3 members
better
who
talk
work
desync.
on various aspects of FPS-related combat and gameplay. Not just combat stuff. It's a lot of focus on combat, but FPS gameplay extends more than that. We'll talk about items and tchotchkes and stuff like that. So let's take a few moments to introduce our people who will do their best to answer your question.
DJ, I
starting
don't think
with the
they
person
will,
immediately
sadly.
to my right. Luke, tell everybody who you are and what you do for Star Citizen.
Where do I look?
You just look
Anyway.
at me. There you go.
Hi, I'm Luke Presley. I am a senior principal designer on the systems design team.
Senior.
Yeah, Toy looking at me.
Just look at him inside the camera.
Principal. No. What does senior principal mean?
He's well old.
Senior, yeah. I get paid more.
He's part of the furniture at this point.
He's
Yeah,
been there
here.
forever.
We've been
That's
doing
what it
this on
means.
and off for about 10 years now.
Yeah, 11.
He had hair.
I remember
Definitely
flying
not
out to
counting.
you to do
What was your first show?
it was in LA.
Ah, all right.
Right.
Zach, we'll come to you in a minute. Sam, tell everybody who you are and what you do for Star Citizen.
Yeah, so I'm Sam. I'm the lead level designer in the UK.
He was in
and
chat
my
yesterday.
work is making all the wonderful locations, basically.
And the bad ones, don't.
That's true. Also, the bad ones technically.
He was in chat
You're
yesterday.
the reason I get stuck on Geo, or
Depends.
okay,
Blame art. Blame art.
Yeah, it's also art as well.
okay. And Zach, tell everybody who you are, what you do, and why we're going to try really hard not to make this the last show they ever let us do.
Yeah, Rich said, right, you're coming on, no drama, no controversies. And I said, I'll try my best. And he said, well, if you do that, it's not good enough. But basically, I'm Zach. I do FPS systems. So I've done the player controller. I've done the guns that you interact with, creatures, human FPS AI, and yeah, cool stuff like that.
Yep.
And tell me about who you're wearing.
Who I'm wearing.
Yeah,
So
like,
this
what if-
is
he
a
looks like
Japanese fashion
Lewis
designer called
Hamilton.
Hair from Osaka. Very good guy. This is from Hollister, Boo, and this is from an independent fashion designer in Dublin.
He looks like Lewis Hamilton going to a
I
race.
didn't actually expect him to have an answer
yeah.
for that. I
He
thought I was
had an
gonna get
answer.
him. I was wrong. All right, so the subject of this week's show is FPS combat and gameplay. As we are wont to do sometimes, we put up a thread on Spectrum, asked you all to submit your questions, vote up the ones you
He's
want to
wearing
see answered most.
Starwear, yeah.
During this week, Zach, Luke, and Sam went through, selected the questions that they thought they had the best information to give. I added 1 or 2 curveballs. We researched the answers. We ran them by Rich, as he says. Just to make sure that we give you the best answer. There's a couple of questions in here that are going to have really long answers. You might notice, you see the pieces of paper on people's on the lights. I guess some of these questions were very involved, so we wanted to get some notes and make sure we provided the best
wow.
information possible.
I mean, that's
So,
awesome.
All that said, we're going to start off
Prepared. We love
with this
that.
question from Star Citizen Disco Lando. Where's my goddamn Apex battle car?
Okay, so I'm not on Creatures anymore, but I did ask the people who were on Creatures.
Oh, why not?
Oh, not because of anything bad, but because it turns out me doing everything is not good for development.
No,
so we've
it
got some great
definitely
new
was
people.
slow,
We've
yeah.
got a Creature team now that are more focused on it, don't have to share resources. Basically, working on it, dialing it in. I won't speak for their work. I'll just leave it at that.
Okay.
It's one of those. I probably shouldn't have started with this question. I just wanted to get it out of the way. Basically, it's one of those things. We've been talking about this thing for so long at this
Yes.
point. I was just having a conversation with
The Apex is bigger than what we've
newly
seen
minted
too,
Creature
right?
team and whatnot. And it's the expectations on this are now from being first introduced in 2016, from
Yeah.
being brought back again in 2023.
Yeah.
Whatnot. we've come really close to getting it where we want it, but then there's just something that doesn't make it feel right. There's something that doesn't quite make it the apex experience we've been looking for. So they're still working, and I think you spent this amount of time on it. You want to be sure you get it right.
I think they learned a lot from the irradiated one.
It's easier to make an FPS boss fight because there's a lot of context that you can refer to and you know what works. Name me a game where you have multiple people in multiple spaceships fighting a humongous worm and how you make that fun and
air and on
and that's in an MMO with a huge planet with the servers.
It's somebody hold on. Beardshire has used their opportunity to be a first-time chatter and said vaporware.
Good.
No.
Hell yeah.
Still working on it.
True.
It's just wanting to make sure it's everything we want it to be.
Based first-time chatter, dude.
You keep saying you know the med gun is wildly OP and then never doing anything to fix it. What's the plan for making medics actually relevant in the game long term? As it's a profession slated for 1.0, but is currently entirely useless.
Good question. I don't think we're going to like the answer from Zach, though. Anytime Zach's talked about this, it has not instilled confidence in people.
So, we're aware that the med gun is very strong at the moment. We've commented on it before, and obviously with crafting upcoming, there's going to be lots of balance changes, there's going to be lots of weapon adjustments and things like that, and we're looking to address it then. But more importantly, on the road to 1.0, the medic profession, all of that is slated in to be locked in, get lots of improvements on, lots of new features with, and things like that. So, medics right now, sure, but medics on the road to 1.0 will get a lot more breadth and depth with the things that they can do.
I'll go into the medic armor in my monologue as well.
So. Oh yeah, you've got a big long section here coming up, so we'll get into that. Sam, this question is probably right up your alley.
You'd hope.
Can you address the lack of level design that facilitates FPS PvP? We're just getting right into the questions here. And remember, they picked the question, so they're not shying away from the tougher topics here. Could you address the lack of level design that facilitates FPS PvP?
Do we lack level design?
To explain. Even the contested zones separate people. Blue doors, timer, separate people out, making it hard to run into people. All the other places are worse. A lot of places are very linear and choke pointy in their level design, making them not play well for PvE, SC sandbox scenarios. What do you have to say?
Okay,
so
let's see what he says.
A lot of our older locations
I don't agree.
were built with just a lot less level design resource, essentially. But what we're trying to do now is that, obviously, this game is very heavy on PvE. There's always going to be PvP. That's never going to stop. And we've started building locations basically intended for PvE. And those locations are always going to be more linear. They're always going to be more set up for that. And when instancing comes online,
but the guy mentioned contested zones, so I hope he goes into contested zones. I don't know if he was involved in those or not, though.
and that's not going to be a problem for everyone else either.
Level design is one thing that works in the FPS. Yeah, exactly.
So you're going to enjoy your PvE gameplay. When it comes to PvPvE or PvP locations, with the bigger level design team now, we can actually focus on making sure that there are multiple entrances. The sightlines are actually cared for and ensured that it makes sense for multiple teams coming in from different angles. And
that's what the questioner asked. Like, contested zones are very linear, and there's one entrance, and you get camped. Like, Hangar 30, for example, is probably what he's referencing here. What a shit experience. Okay, fair enough. Fair question then, if that's what they meant. And having more entrances getting into a Hangar 30, you know, for example, even just having 2 entrances at the executive hangar makes such a difference. Because then they have to cover both. And if they don't cover one, maybe you could sneak in. That's how I got my F7A. I snuck in.
Just make sure that cover placement and all of that sort of stuff is up to scratch, basically.
The LD team's a lot bigger now as well.
Yes.
Compared to where it was like 2 years ago.
We've gained 6 people in the last year.
Yeah, I don't think it's. I don't think it's inappropriate to say that level design was probably underserved.
Yes.
In previous years of Star Citizen's development. Why that is, variety of reasons, but it's been recognized in the last 12 months.
Thank you, Cozy.
And the rectification is in process. Like you said, is it doubled? It's probably more than doubled at this point.
I think it's about doubled now.
Yeah.
We still got a few more coming, but
yeah. So we recognize.
I remember when JT had one door.
We weren't doing enough to support it, and the fix for that is underway. I just saw a review of Starkitect locations on Tuesday, and you could see right away. I'm like, oh, these immediately look different than the stuff.
Oh,
Not
that's
just with the
exciting.
visual stuff. I'm talking about the layout, with the amount of cover points, with the amount of interior, exterior, combined, cover spaces where you're half inside, half outside. Lots of moving in, moving out, and stuff like this. The big towers, to make snipers incredibly deadly and stuff like that.
Exactly.
Okay.
There's a lot more effort. There's a lot more effort going in, and I think the stuff we have coming down the pipe, Rockcracker, and then going forward, the new Siege of Wars and the Municipal Works are going to benefit from that renewed focus on level design.
Same as the Starkitect stuff as well in the future.
All PvE stuff.
There's always
though.
going to be a gadgets question. Any progress on gadgets like trip sensors, scanners, remote detonated charges, and
I think I know the answer to this. Zach's only working on the FPS experience now.
so on?
So
I've
probably
got
sooner
an
than
answer,
later.
and it has the word Squadron 42 in, so I'm going to read it off the page. Currently, we have the deployable shield, breaching charge, and some other bits in Squadron 42. And
Hell yeah. Okay, that's fucking sick. Those are things we really, really want. So if they're in Squadron, that's good news.
do plan on shipping that in the PU in the future. We also have an area denial grenade coming this year as well.
Aerial denial grenade. That's not a smoke, right? That's more like percussion.
We plan to add more gadgets in the future, and we do
Or
like doing some
mollies.
surprise
Got it.
community wants, like the binoculars, which are much asked for.
That's cool. Luke, this might be wrong. I mean, I don't know. I'm guessing. What plans are there to make clothing serve a purpose when an undersuit and armor is better in almost every way?
Who gives a fuck?
I'm not gonna lie. I mean, clothing is never gonna have the same fulfill the same purposes.
Who gives a shit?
It's never gonna be space worthy.
Bro, just role play. Just role play. It's for RP, man. Well, I don't get it. I don't get what's so hard about that. They want to bring role play into the game, and it's so goofy, I feel like. But hey, I don't know.
We are, working on combat clothing, which will have more damage mitigation. So if you want to imagine a kind of John Wick style suit, that kind of thing. But yeah, I think the main problem now is that it's one or the other. You have to wear clothes or you have to wear armor, right? And that's where Starware is going to come in and change all that, because the purpose of clothing is cosmetic. It's to dress, the way you want to look. So to just go into that in a bit more detail, you'll be able to, with Starware, have your undersuit on if you want it, and then put certain, jackets over the top, all the jackets, certain trousers,
we know all this
gloves,
stuff.
boots on the top, then armor on the top of that, and then, in future, we're going to have hoods and big overcoats that can go over some of the armors too. So all these layers.
It's like we said at SitCon as well, there will be areas where you can't wear armor, so clothing and all that will have particular uses and things like that.
We've talked about that in the past, like locations that prohibit it, and you have to kind of turn things into customs. So you wearing I don't think we're going to ever block an undersuit in that scenario, but it's probably more useful to wear the kind of combat clothing we were talking about.
There's never been an MMO where cosmetics isn't the end game.
Yeah.
Yeah, a couple of people in chat were right away. Fashion Citizen is endgame.
Someone said, "Is Zach showing off Starware?" That cracked me up.
Possibly. Very early.
I hope
iteration.
not.
No, but it's.
Oh,
it cannot
Black,
be overstated. I'm really glad you brought that up. We've Chris,
Copy and
other
paste
people
that for
mentioned
later, Black
years
Jaguar, so I can
this
read it.
idea of wanting to facilitate the wearing of clothing as opposed to armor. He hates that everybody wears armor everywhere. So this will always be kind of a goal at some point to go to. When I first saw the outfit scanners that were part of a Stormbreaker, the ones where it forced you to change into the
that was a
scientist
cool
outfit
thing.
in order to open the door. I was really excited about what that means for the future. Forcing people to switch into outfits as opposed to armors in order to infiltrate something. The gameplay options there were really exciting. It's like this. So yeah, it's combat clothing is a bit interesting though. I heard the term and I didn't realize. not full on
No,
John
no.
Wick kind of thing.
Wait, not bulletproof.
Yeah.
No, but some decent mitigation.
Yeah,
not,
we just
not to the
captured the
point of
scientists.
being
We're a
better
thousand
than
years.
light.
There's 1,000 years in the future.
Yeah,
There's
yeah.
going to be clothing that's a little better than what it is today, anyway.
Yeah.
Okay. Cool. I'm going to ask one more question before we go to Luke and his treatise here. Are there plans to add spatialization for sound in FPS? I think sound plays a major role in combat, but currently we can't locate our enemies or tell if they're wearing heavy or light armor.
Did we not just have a
I think this
sound?
one was for me, but was it for me or
No,
was
it's
it
for
for you?
me.
It's not.
It's for you.
Oh, that's one for
Oh, there you go. Well, that's why I don't have it written
So
down.
I'm just going to talk for hours.
Go on, perfect.
Yeah, I've talked to the audio team, and they're really keen on enjoying this armory factor, reworking what we've got so far, so that if you're wearing a heavy suit, you actually sound extremely heavy. But like beyond that, they really want to have the wearer feel that they're in a heavy, suit. So if you're wearing that massive,
It was the
radiation
ship
suit,
audio team?
you'll
Oh.
feel isolated, like everything will be
Bro, they have
muffled around you
separate
as
audio
well.
teams for ships?
And I've generated this big list of
Fucking ships.
audio I want to hear specifically on, like the stealth suit that we're going to be having. Like that wants to be the quietest sounding, because no matter what emissions it gives out and all that stuff under the hood, if you can hear your
I
feet
didn't know that,
squeaking
Bert.
against the floor as you run, sneak up behind someone, that's really off-putting. So it's really important to nail all that.
It's also worth pointing out that
When they say spatial audio, is it not like right now the audio spatially in Star Citizen FPS is one of the worst experiences there is in the game? You can hear left and right. That's about it. You can't hear up and down. It's very weird. I don't think it's my headphones that do that.
footsteps have gone through a big iteration in Squadron as well, in terms of like when you sprint in SC right now, it's, you get essentially you have the heel down and the foot forward.
Yeah,
making
it's
a noise.
hard.
Now it's just one foot plan. It's also reading the context of the environment as well. So if you're on railings, it will make railing noises and things like that. So we've gone from a generic footstep noise to an environmental context noise.
I'm not going to lie, though. Zach bringing up Squadron 42 with every single fucking thing that he's mentioned so far is very telling.
I was just thinking about these really nice pair of Jordan 1 comforts. It's the classic Jordan 1, but the sole's been redesigned for maximum comfort. And it's got this little triangle shape cut out at the bottom, which is supposed to be great. But because I don't walk normally, my gait is weird, that little triangle makes a suction sound when I walk. So I got really excited to wear them. They look great. They're super comfortable. When I came to the office, it's like every time I walk, and it's just I don't wear them because
they're indoor shoes now.
I can't. And I get other people to check them out. I look online. Nobody else has this problem. It's just I walk wrong.
Is there a leaflet for that?
I don't know. No, not for that one.
If you want to sell them, there's some people who pay good money.
When weapons like the pulverizer have a slowdown effect from having them equipped on the back, are there plans to give them weapon inertia as well, as in they handle slower than other weapons?
So just to start off that, they don't have a slowdown effect. They just weigh a lot. And depending on how much weight you have on your character moves slower. Mm-hmm. So we don't do this gives you a 20% movement
Does the
speed
backpack
debuff just
factor
because you
in
have
weight
this weapon on. It's
yet, though?
systemic. There's weight. The more weight you have, the more you slow down. But yeah, go on, with the weapon inertia. Do you want to handle it? Because I can.
The thing is, I thought this had come last, so I thought I'd have done my spiel on.
So one thing we're talking about with the armor work is essentially having it so. Correct me if I'm wrong, but the heavier the weapon is, the more weapon inertia you get. So if you've got heavier arms, it's easier to handle heavier weapons. So if you're wearing light arms and you have an LMG, you'll essentially have a lot more weapon sway. Think with the Fresnel, how long that takes to correct the sight picture. That's an example of something that, if you had light and you picked up heavy, it's a way of saying, cool, you want to fit in the archetype, that fantasy of being like, oh, I'm a super heavy armor wearing, I've got my LMG,
the tank.
I'm walking in a location, versus oh, I'm light and I've got a pistol. Because as you know, in real life, the shorter the barrel of a weapon is, the lighter it is, the easier it is to move around. Like I was talking to Luke about this, and the reason why pirates always have short swords is because if they're on boats and they're killing people close, that's why they have short swords. That's why people clear runes with like pistols and SMGs and things like that.
All right, we're gonna get to your question. Since it sets up, I wanna preface this. This is actually 3 questions.
Yeah, it is 3 questions I'm answering here.
It is 3 questions. So
This is going to be really long, apparently.
yeah. All right. So I want to show you. Can you see this? This is the notes for this next question. This is all one question here. It goes on to the next page. It's all more question. Yeah. It's that much. You wrote that much, Luke. So
Hey, we're bringing content. You know what I mean?
So at this point, I'm going to ask these questions, and then Sam, Zach, and I are going to go get a beer.
Yeah.
Me one.
All right. So these are 3 questions. 3 questions that all have one combined answer. Okay. Question 1. How will the upcoming armor rework make it so armor choice is more diverse?
Okay. We heard one answer.
Question 2. What benefits are planned for players who wear light and medium armor in PvP and high-end PvE environments versus heavy armor? Currently, the movement bonus obviously doesn't typically offset the damage reduction of heavy armor. And question 3, with the addition of crafting armor coming, what's the progress on armor functionality? Armor roles like tank, recon, heavy scanning, stuff like that. All right. You
Okay.
ready?
I am.
You ready? All right. We should give. We don't have like a single camera for Luke, do we? Oh, we do. There we go. Excellent.
Which one is it? There we go. Okay, so progress is going great.
Just stop there.
That's it.
It's something I'm actively working on, and we've had multiple reviews to decide which stats I'm actually going to be able to play with. Because
Okay.
one thing we don't want to do is ruin the game, like make it unbearable, by just making things worse.
Are you sure about that? Are you sure about that? You do that a lot, CIG.
So there's lots
Make
of
the
things
game
we're doing
unbearable.
to like improve things as well.
It's so hard.
Yeah.
It's so hard for me
Well,
not
you
to
look
say
so
something.
skeptical.
I'm going to bed.
I had something so snarky I wanted to say right there, but you
Okay.
go ahead.
I said it for you.
Design-wise, I think we're like 90% there. I've just got to pitch some of the non-systemic perks.
Okay.
The perks you get for wearing a full suit of armor and stuff. Because we've got most of our the perks are actually quite systemic. So the stealth suit, actually each piece like blocks the emissions of your body and stuff. So like you have to have a full thing, and then suddenly you're stealthy. But the perks where you have to make something up, like I don't know. I'll give being able to.
Mine better.
Let's say if you have a full stealth suit, right, might get like a massive bonus to hiding your emissions.
Yeah.
Like as an example, something that makes sense within the context of the armor.
Something that's more than the sum of its parts.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. So it's the more gimmicky things I'll
full set
say,
bonus type
but
stuff,
I don't really want to go into it because I don't pitch them. But right. So our main aims with the armory factor are to give players reason to wear flight suits, light, medium, and heavy armors. Give players reasons to wear the combat versus utility armors, because that's been a big distinction now. The 2 of those. To give
seen Monthly
players
Report
a
mentions
reason
of that.
to change armors based on their intent, and that's for specializations we were talking about in SitCon 2 years ago.
They've done that in one instance so far, and I love it. I think it's been really good. For us, anytime we do the worm, we're wearing the radiation suits, and they gave. No other suit can handle the radiation the way the radiation suit does. It kind of became a must in that scenario. And that was a nice, I don't know, it's a nice change of pace. Part of being and getting prepared for a worm fight is making sure everybody has that armor. I liked that. I don't know if everybody likes that, but I did like that aspect. I don't like that specific armor because it sucks, and it's ugly and you look like a fat idiot, but the outside of that, I like the idea. Imagine maybe being able to craft a suit that has better radiation resistance. That might be cool.
So I'll go into some of those later.
Yeah, no
and
hit
then
marker is
give
brutal.
Individual armor pieces a purpose, so that arms aren't just useless cosmetics and stuff. Each piece of the armor.
The audio
has
is them, right? I hope
has
so.
stats with it that you don't get with the others. So, like for me, and I think for you as well, like the most important things is nailing those weight classes.
Yeah,
The feel of those weight classes.
it's very much so. Like last time I heard it's about the legs, and you get like you get mass reduction, right? That's so if you have heavy legs on, then your overall mass gets reduced because it's easier to walk and things like that. So it's like you don't just become instantly
Almost
a tank
power armor,
because you've
kind
got a
of.
thing on. It's like cool. I've got these legs. I don't want to be weighed down too much. I want to be able to like move faster, still my heavy, but that'll have other offsets obviously. compared
Almost
to-
like a exo suit.
Yeah, exactly. It's just the support that it gives. Right now, we have this funny situation where if you were wearing entirely heavy armor, you had a full backpack on, all the attachments, and then you took your leg armor off and you just had naked legs. I mean, in real life, you'd crumple under that weight. But in the game now, you are faster because you weigh less.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's so
And
dumb.
that's obviously
People look
something we
so
want to get rid of.
stupid too.
So like if we like focusing on that.
But you know who the sweats are in AC when they look like that. You know who the sweats are. They got
Like
chicken
the way we're
legs.
going to make
Yep.
lights versus mediums versus heavies and flight suits. Like
And they're usually bouncing across the screen like this because they're doing that.
very different and actually a choice you make is there's damage mitigation. We're going to up the damage mitigation on mediums and heavies to give you a higher TTK.
Beyond what they are right now.
Beyond where they are now, yeah.
Oh, wow.
It's obviously offset with crafting and the improvements that come with weapons. So.
Yeah, so me
okay.
and Deck, who was on crafting, are in this interesting situation where obviously you only have between 0 and 100 to play with, and we're having to like meter out and share the percentages we can go up. Yeah. So I can go up to this, and then crafting will take you up to this. So yeah, that's an interesting thing to have to take into account.
You can build better weapons, and you have to be able to build better armors.
Well, yeah, that's the other thing. It's a constant arms race, yeah.
Or you just hit them with a
Or a legs race.
The combat crosshair, which is it's going to primarily be on combat suits, helmets. So like not everyone is getting that anymore, which is kind of the way it's done right now until we figured out. Flip the page. The ability to have your MFDs cast to the visor, which I think everyone has right now when they sit in the ship, that's going to be for flight-specific helmets.
Okay.
And ship handling as well will be impacted by...
I got a question for you combat ship pilots. I assume this is going to come with flight suits that give you advantages when in flight. The first thing that I thought of was I turn those off a lot of times. I don't find them that incredibly useful, but I'm thinking maybe the ships that I fly often have MFDs available in view, but for the ships that don't, it is useful, right? So, okay. I hope it's buffs and not nerfs to other suits. I think it'll be a combination of a buff and a nerf to your character, hopefully. So yeah. Yeah, kind of like the new Aurora a little bit. Yeah, all right. It would be nice on ships that don't have 4 MFDs. Exactly. But if it does have 4 MFDs, would you use a different helmet for a different reason, maybe? I don't know.
Medium or heavy armors. So that means that your inputs are slower. So if you make a hard turn, it will take it slower if you've got medium and heavy armor on.
G-force resistance.
And G-force as well will be lower in those suits, so you'll pass out quicker. We're also increasing the G-force tolerance in things like the combat and racing flight suits, so it's not all just a negative. FPS radar, when that comes, that's going to make a huge difference. It's between the weight classes for a start, because bigger things, they're noisier. You'll hear them on your passive radar.
A good example is combat helmets are seen as the default right now because they're the main archetype that we have online, but that will make more noises and emissions. So you'll get less feedback, but then you'll obviously be quiet and less picked up by radar and scanning and things like that.
Yeah, if you wear lights, like you'll...
That's a dangerous one. That sounds like such a big disadvantage that I would never use it. but it is such an advantage. Okay. Yeah, it immediately makes me think like which one would I choose. So maybe that's
Both
good
have
design.
the same strength
Obviously, we'll have to
radar,
see it play out.
But being light gives you the ability to get so many meters closer before you're picked up.
Choices are very good. I like choices in the game.
And we keep alluding to this, but I'd say the most important feature is the mass mitigation. And that affects the weight affecting the player. Like you weigh more, obviously, the whole thing together weighs more, but if you have like heavy arms and then a heavy core and heavy legs, and then you've got a railgun in your arms, right?
So
That'll
you're
be fully
heavy.
supported. No added weight to the player. But then if you start taking pieces off or making them like a lesser weight, that will start, like the percentage that those arms can take will get less and less. Like, if you take your legs off, like it doesn't matter what your arms can lift because your legs are still taking the weight of that thing completely.
Yeah, it's very nitty gritty this obviously, but we still do have like high level archetypes as well. So like things like having like medic armor and things like that are
this is weight class.
This is in the weeds, but we also do have the high level ideas of like different combat armors, different like we have the scanning armor and things like that. What's it called, the hunter armor and things like that, which obviously we're like way better at scanning and things like that. So there's some like very high level, easy to understand stuff, and then you have this stuff which is down in like the nitty gritty weeds.
Yeah, it's the min-maxing stuff.
Reducing the amount of times you're going to see somebody in a hospital gown carrying around a railgun.
Exactly.
So if you want to be able to keep a railgun up and on your shoulder and use it, you're going to need to actually increase the mass of your armor in order to have that
Benefit.
The support system to you, so make it possible for you to carry it.
Yeah. And finally, this is finally on
This
this
is
point.
not finally, by the way.
No.
You have and finally written in here 3 times.
Yep.
This is not and finally.
This is
not and finally.
And finally on the weight class, right? Because this is what we're talking about. Weight classes, they span all of these archetype types and that. Like, you can have a heavy medic maybe. So EVA, controversial maybe. EVA will be removed from undersuits as it is now, so everybody having it, and put on some but not all flight suits and cores. And we'll be introducing an EVA backpack for those who don't have EVA built into the suit, or if you do have EVA built into your suit and you just want more fuel and more oxygen, you can also.
I see some of you going like, ooh, I don't know. When he says I said that initially in my head, but when he says the EVA backpack, because the thing that I'm thinking of is boarding parties. And boarding parties, I was like, oh shit, like what do we do then? We have to fly flight suits or whatever, or like these special suits for boarding parties, and then not have like good armor. And that doesn't make any sense. So you can wear the armor you want, but you use the EVA backpack, and then you don't have as much storage space in the backpack because the storage is the fuel for the thing. Yeah, and I think they showed it before on an ISC like a long time ago or whatever. We also do have fire extinguishers. That's a good point as well. I forgot about that part, but then you obviously lose a gun slot or whatever. But I guess you could put it in and out of your backpack, right? But yeah, you don't have a gun out when you're using that. So it makes a lot more sense once he says the backpack. And I was like, oh, okay, cool. I could see like that backpack being a part of your boarding party, like suit doctrine or whatever that people would use.
Put that on as well.
It's you're basically adding a whole lot of choice. Basically a whole lot of tactical decisions between what you wear. It's not just going to be about rule of cool. You have to understand the situation that you're going into and the best loadout for that situation. Not just bringing the right weapons, but soon or when the time comes.
If you know you're going into like fight that you're Mondi, you might want to bring people with like more medic suits, for example, because you know you're gonna have to heal each other more and things like that.
Of course, if you don't have EVA, you just bring your fire extinguisher, right?
Yeah. Jared saw the chat.
Okay, and final no. So that's weight classes. There's a difference between combat and utility. That's a big difference, and that's mainly down to the mass mitigation, which you'll have more of on the utility. That will mean that combat armors are lighter to start with, right? But the moment you start loading them up, they get slower. Whereas utility armors start heavier, and then the more you load them up, the more they can take. So you kind of keep the speed you're running at with those.
Okay.
Whereas if you streamline yourself in combat, you'll always be faster. And also...
I assume there's different types of utility armor then.
Yeah, there's like...
It just comes down to, if you're in utility armor, you're probably not combat ready, so they don't really care about your movement speed maybe as much.
Yeah.
Razor, thank you.
Which I will jump to now then. Right. Flight suits. We've got racing flight suits.
Okay.
Amazing G-force resistance. Really good environmental resistances. So, if you're racing in a car on all kinds of planets, you'll be fine.
And I hear that's the flight suits getting their G-force resistance is not necessarily a far away thing.
No, I think Yogi's working on it very soon.
Yeah.
Oh shit. Okay.
Yeah. But they have no radar. They're like super stripped down, no EVA, and really poor damage mitigation because they're basically just kind of levers. Combat flight suits, which do have EVA, they have better damage mitigation, bigger inventory, but slightly reduced G-force and poor environmental resistances because they're made for space, right? Then you've got the combat armors. You've got the assault armors, which make up the majority of our armors right now.
If you want to put new stuff out, you've got to have a crosshair at the minute, otherwise it doesn't feel as impactful. But obviously that'll be revisited when we get more archetypes in.
Yeah, it's definitely our biggest section of armors we currently have. And these are the pure combat armors. We've got the best at absorbing damage, good radar for finding humans, but they'll lack EVA.
Yeah.
Can you find creatures too?
Yep, yeah. Anything with a emission of kind of IR and EM.
Oh yeah.
But it's not resource. They do not have resources, so you're not going to be finding minables with those. Stealth armors, again, we've talked about. They reduced emissions and sounds. What are you reading the red pen?
I haven't seen how much is left.
No, just that. The hunter armors we've talked about is the only combat armor to have EVA, and it has an amazing.
Hunter armor has EVA.
People.
Okay.
They'll see you coming more though, and it has
probably less damage.
mitigation.
Yeah.
Utility armors. Right, I'm going to actually breeze through these because I don't.
These are the ones I don't want him to breeze through because these are the ones I would be wearing.
I don't want to spend too long, actually. Right, medical can scan health. So when you do a scan, it will show you the health of people around you and various other things, and it can locate downed players from much further away, like specifically. That's its thing.
So if you have medic armor.
Yeah, so if you do a scan, you're going to pick up the down players that you wouldn't normally pick up just by IR and EM. There's engineers, and they can reveal the positions and health of components. No, just this one.
That's cool.
Resource specialists, these are like the salvagers and miners. We have an amazing resource radar. And hopefully we'll reveal details about minables that you would otherwise have to go up to and scan, like from a distance.
So you can be on this.
So there's a reason why we don't have it. So if you are playing in the Wave 1 PTU right now, and you go out and you have come up to a big cluster of Hadanite rocks, you would notice that you cannot see the quality until it's in your backpack. This suit would change that. And that's why they haven't put it on the multi-tool or whatever. I mean, obviously you could see it on the Golem, the Geo, but yeah, the mining idea is very cool.
Surface or whatever, send your ping out and see the things. You don't have to go to it to find out.
I'd say it's more for being in caves where there's that kind of distance. It's still a distance to go, but if you scan and then focus on a rock that is 50 meters away, you might get some more.
Yeah, Jared's talking as if we're in a ship, and our armor would affect our ship's radar. He's
information then that otherwise you would have to.
He's out in the La La Land.
And
thank you, Alex.
Then you've got the Explorer, which is like the jack of all trades. It's got kind of good utility. It's got the crosshair. It's got good environmental resistances, and it can scan resources.
So why wouldn't everybody use that?
Its damage resistance is fine, but it's not a combat armor. And then you've got all
That's
the
an
other kind of
interesting one.
very specialist things. You've got EVA, heat, cold, and radiation, and they hopefully speak for themselves.
Interesting.
Thank you for everyone who's still here.
We're all still here. That's one of the most important. I think that if we're not going to talk about desync, I think the armor stuff is one of the most needed updates for Star Citizen. We have been stuck with the medium, heavy, light trash for so long.
No, I really I appreciate this, Luke. It's
a huge spreadsheet. It took me forever.
Yeah. How is the... Obviously, we've been talking about some aspects of what you've been talking about, which you just talked about, we've been talking about for 2 years now.
Yeah, that's true.
Only 2 years,
You want to give like a general progress? I'm not saying a when. Don't answer a when question.
Like I say, I think like 90% of it's done, and maybe even more.
Design is
I've got a few
done,
more
by
things
the way.
to clear when it comes to those perks, the things that make them stand out, and again, a little gimmicky, right? All this that I've talked about is signed off, right? Once I've got those perks sorted, it's just off to code to do estimates, and then we see where it fits.
Okay. So still in the design phase.
Still in the design phase. I've run this all by code, and they like have ballparked it, but yeah.
Okay. Exciting.
Sam.
Luke's one of the original devs that ever hung out in my channel. He kind of started the devs hanging out in Twitch channels thing. He was the first, really, that did it regularly, and kind of used our streams to see how his work was going and but communicate to us if we were frustrated, that he understood why, and then that, like, Elliot was under him, and many other mission devs for a really long time. So he always had them, to watch Twitch streams and stuff. And now look at the way they interact with the community now. It's very, very cool. Until I get blacklisted, I don't seem to be blacklisted from developers, but I'm blacklisted from anybody who sells things for Star Citizen, which is most of the company.
How has the new focus on dungeon-style content, we call them operations, but the question says dungeon-style content, changed design goals for FPS gameplay?
So the quick answer is they haven't, really. We've changed what content we are trying to make currently, because before we started making the dungeons, we didn't really have any. And we've been taking a lot of time to try and start constructing these more defined locations where we want to take players through an experience. But that doesn't mean that we're going to stop making any of the other sort of more contested zones, PvP-oriented areas. That's still very much a thing that we're focused on. It's just we're trying to counteract the amount of content that is just general outposts versus defined experiences. We want to basically go from where previously we made locations to show off features to just making locations that make use of features. Or just
that would
cool
be nice.
Because I wanted to make a big ring station that you can ride a gondola around, so I did it, and that's...
I hate him. He was in my Twitch chat yesterday. He was really nice. Now that I know it was his idea, I hate you.
coming out this month.
It's so sick.
It's so... Just speed it up. It's so slow.
Let's talk a little bit about Rockcracker. It's a little off the topic here.
Apologies.
Folks who are in
I
PTU,
accept your apology, DJ.
Are seeing that there's essentially at this moment
For not getting
there
through to
are three kind of different versions of these breaker stations.
Yeah.
There's
Oh shit. He's going into the 3, and he should not be the guy talking about this.
ones that don't currently have a rock in them, and those will be for a variety of sandbox missions that actually come online about 2 weeks after 4.7 releases.
Yep.
So 4.7 will release hopefully towards the end of this month.
These were the 20 in the original notes. I did not know that they would not have a rock and that they were coming later. That was not in the notes. So maybe he is the guy that should be talking about this.
And then about 2 weeks later, there'll be another content drop that releases an entirely new suite of mission content that will utilize these third versions of breaker stations. I realize I'm starting on 3.
Yeah.
But then there are 2 versions of the breaker stations that have these giant, enormous rocks.
Talk to us about the rewards. I'm interested here. I'm interested. This is something I'm very interested in. I'm going to be incredibly focused. We might be pausing a lot.
In the center. And one is more like a contested zone kind of thing. It's like players have seen with Line of Mine and Stormbreaker and stuff. It is, you get the mission and everybody has these locations. They're on your star maps. You go and...
Stormbreaker's probably not going to be like these other ones. Stormbreaker looks like it was made to be instanced. But fair.
And it's...
The contested ones aren't on your star maps.
The contested ones aren't on the star maps.
No. So the way they work is that we have multiple instances, basically. Not instances
Yeah, you can't use that word yet.
Not instances in actual instance, but a version of the mission that's at a location. And so basically 5 groups of players can go to each one at a time. And we have multiple locations that they can go to. And the expectation is that you should be taken to one where someone else is and you should fight for the stuff, basically.
So that's a bit...
That's kind of cool because if they are using the logic of the location we're giving you has people at it, that's kind of cool.
More chaos in those ones.
Yes.
A bit more of that
It's for people who want to do PvP and who don't want to spend the high price of entry for the exclusive ones.
And that brings us to the third one, which are these exclusive ones.
Yes.
These ones are also not available on the star map. You have to earn the right to purchase the locations to these versions of the breaker stations, and those allow for only the people you share them with have it. So a true
Technically, there's ways. I've figured it out 2 seconds from being there that there are definitely ways because they don't clean up the ships there.
PvE experience at these places. So it's a neat evolution of what we were doing last year and learning the lessons we learned last year, and always trying something new and stuff like that. So these 3 different versions of these breaker stations that are coming in 4.7 are pretty exciting, and always trying something new. It's
definitely.
Yeah, with ASD, or with
Same
Onyx
rewards?
Facilities, we dropped roughly 600 of them, across planets. Always trying different things to see how to give something for everybody.
Yeah, we basically wanted to make sure that people who only want PvE should be able to get that, and people who want to fight for stuff can fight for stuff if they so desire.
Yeah. Now the flip side of that is that there won't always be a PvE version available.
Not always, but we've placed a decent amount of them.
Yeah. So, and those are kind of things we'll continue to tune throughout PTU and stuff like that, and it will continue to evolve as the game goes on.
The rewards will...
If the only design intent is for people who don't want PvP and people who do want PvP, I'm sorry guys, but like I had a commenter call me like an idiot basically because I went to the PvE location to learn how it worked. And that's how I made my video yesterday about it on the main channel. Check it out if you haven't yet. I'm kind of like it's scuffed. I'm not morphologist. I'm not Burks. It's scuffed. It's me, but I'm proud of it. This is something that these guys need to learn. You're making an MMO. Everybody min-maxes for the most part. Not everybody, but most. Like it's a min-maxy community, and an MMO community is. If you are giving 2 identical locations with identical rewards, but one has friction and one does not, everybody is going to go to the one that has no friction, guys. Like, I don't know. And I get that there's a buy-in intention here, and their intention is good, but their economy is I think a decently balanced economy in this game is not months away. It's maybe like many years away for how bad it is at the moment. So I don't understand why that is their thought process. For me, I feel like it has to be a very clear distinction that if you're going to have friction, you're going to have better reward. And if you don't want friction, you're going to have less reward. And that might be their design intent with the buy-in, but money doesn't matter in this game. And I don't think it's going to for a long time. So I don't understand.
Also got better. I improved them today.
Oh, nice. Anything you want to tell us about it?
Not specifically. Go find it.
Okay. Okay.
He told us. Should we tell him? Because he told us the rewards are better. But in general, the rewards are better.
Zach.
Yes.
So I think they
This
both have
question,
the equally
is this
good
the doozy?
rewards.
Well, I don't know what you think is a doozy.
Yeah.
Okay.
But this question has come up
Okay.
on and off every year since it was first introduced as a concept back in 2013 when Shroud of the Avatar came online.
Yeah, which
All right.
2013, 2014, I can't remember. Back with Richard Gary in Portalarium and stuff.
Too long.
This question is simply, how is the crossbow coming along?
Okay, so this was the first year that I got to basically plan out all the weapons, and the first one on the list, obviously, that always gets mentioned is the crossbow. So I can confirm that the crossbow is coming this year. The main reason I think that we got that crossbow was because Rich is an original Shroud of the Avatar backer, so he is very interested in getting his skin. So yes, crossbow this year. But I also want to tease some other cool.
so Rich got scammed. And now he works at the scam game that's scamming all of us. Wow. It's crazy how that all works.
Weapons. I want to go over
He's
that.
the ultimate.
Before we move off the crossbow,
Go on.
it's not just
He's
going to be
Uno
available
reversing.
to the folks who pledge for whatever level of Shroud of the Empire. There are versions of it going
Yes.
into loot for
I
everybody.
believe they get a specific skin
Yes.
if they were Shroud of the Avatar
Yes,
backer.
but the
So-
crossbow, a weapon this cool, is going to be made available to everybody who plays Star Citizen today, either through loot or through a bundle or whatever, or if you.
Shroud of the Avatar is still running? Oh, I heard the whole thing closed. Really? Okay. It does still exist. Interesting. I thought it was dead. Did Richard Garriott leave? Is that what happened? Listen, I think that game was dead on arrival from the moment they were claiming it was UO next. It was not.
If you
I
did
was
pledge
pissed.
those specific Shroud of the Avatar levels, that specific skin, and the process of how you claim those will be made available to you when it comes time to add it to the game.
Yep. So cooler than the new guns. There is one with space blanking, like we said, space AK.
Are you just going to move on to other new weapons?
Yeah.
Sure, go ahead.
Crossbow's a crossbow.
No, talk us about
Yeah, so there's space blank, which is space kind of based on a real gun sort of thing that people really like. We got loads of people like the space AK. We've got a lever action rifle. We've got
Lever action
adding
rifle
more
is
space
this, right?
versions of existing weapons.
Yes.
Okay, so like you did with the space AK.
Correct.
There's going to be a space
Space.
something or other.
Yeah.
You don't want to reveal right now.
No, because it's very cool and it's something that people mention a lot. And,
Or is lever
I
this?
think it's fun to find out, but just a little tease.
like Space Godzilla.
Yeah,
Space
lever's
Godzilla,
the
exactly.
shotgun.
Or Mecha Godzilla.
Okay.
A real thing.
I don't know guns. Sorry.
Medgun
Winchester.
pistol.
Yeah.
I'm very excited.
Sorry.
Medgun pistol. We have a bullpup rifle.
Shoot your enemies.
You're
to life.
glossing over this stuff. This is a med gun that.
I want to leave it at that. I want to say the name of it, and then as it comes out, you'll see like, okay,
All right, so you're being intentionally obtuse.
yeah, basically.
All right, send your
Med
letters
gun
to Jack
pistol.
Priest, 6 Manchester Goods Yard.
Yeah.
All right, so med gun pistol.
Medgun pistol, bullpup rifle, lever action rifle,
What's a bull?
and some
What's-
more cool
what's
stuff later on as well. So that's some cool stuff that's coming this year. And well,
Ashley
sorry, let
Falcon.
me be clear. Our intention is that those things come this year. And yeah, there's some other stuff that's not just it. Like we also spoke about, we've said, we want an area denial grenade. We know that gadgets and utility are big
Mag behind the
requests and things
trigger,
like that.
okay.
But those are the things that we want to tease now. There's more than that. As we delivered a lot of weapons last year, we want to also deliver a lot of weapon content this year as well.
Like he just casually dropped, there's going to be a lever
I'm the worst Florida man. Yeah, dude. I'm sorry. I've never shot a gun before.
action. A 30th century lever action. Right.
Oh, the plan is that it's gonna have evolving geo as well.
Evolving
You switch
levers?
the fire modes and stuff like that. So leaning into like taking it and making it really cool and sci-fi.
And your intention is for this to come. All these ones that you mentioned. Intention. We all know how game development works, but the intention is for all of these to arrive this year.
Yes. And some more other cool stuff. We planned out this year in terms of like looking how much we delivered last year. What can we deliver this year that is exciting and is, really, really fun?
Okay.
He actually printed up some pictures.
Look, I wanted to do it. I had some pictures printed out here, and I was going to say, which one do you want to know about, chat?
Okay,
You do have the close-up.
I'll let you. Yeah.
Okay.
Give me one you want to show.
Okay.
Just give me one you want to show.
There's a really dumb. You know what the top one is, but this is a hint.
No, over here because we got the close-up
You
camera.
guys-
Okay.
Come here, bring it to me.
Go on,
Don't drop your microphone.
I won't. There you are. So there's a hint on the bottom of what it is.
A hint.
Yeah.
This is the picture. Go to the close-up. Go ahead. Let's see if it works. Okay. This is what he this is what he brought. So this is I'm assuming a space lever action
Space lever action.
and some railroad tracks.
And you'll have to figure out what that one is.
A fence.
No, come back.
Oh, you want me to pick it up? Oh no, don't sit on it.
Just go sit down.
Okay.
Sit down.
Jared, no.
Sit down.
Oh, railgun.
In Saint 666
Yeah, someone
says
got it.
dumbest thing ever.
Someone got it.
Mom? Okay.
And that one is stocked, not
I know
shouldered
Saint.
as well.
Saint's like a really good ship combat player.
Yeah, chat Chat, you got it.
How did they get it?
I just, you know what?
We are not subtle.
Geniuses.
I can't believe that my puzzle was horrifically obvious.
He's not a level designer.
Speaking about
your
MedPen
ugly
gun,
face.
can we have the MedPed automatically switch back to the gun after being injected, like it already happens in Arena Commander?
Yes, that's one of the options that we do want to add.
They said Arena
So
Commander.
next week or?
Sooner than you hope, but further than you'd expect.
I remember them telling me that in 2013 about a ship that's still not out yet.
Sometimes I say things that get me in trouble, and sometimes I say things that I want to say things that would really get me in trouble.
Game development.
Let's see. Any progress on FPS item wear and tear, like armor tear or weapon misfire?
Yes. So in terms of weapon.
Have you seen the new weapon with the rust on it? The new skin. I think it's a P6LR. For St. Patty's Day or whatever with the rust, dude, it looks so cool.
Weapon malfunctions and weapon overheating. Every single weapon has that in Squadron at the minute. So every single weapon jams. Every single weapon, well, the weapons that can overheat do overheat. That is fully implemented in Squadron 42, and it will be coming to the PU in the future.
Okay.
Yep, another Squadron 42.
I'm gonna guess this is you, Sam. Would it be possible to climb more stuff?
Yeah. Basically.
Oh, there's more to this, like SU boxes, ramps, and elevators.
Yeah. It's
I was
like,
just
it's
like-
all
I
the
thought
fun
this
ledge
person just likes to go into the soft play.
It's we want to climb everything.
Possible to climb more stuff?
Yes, essentially. A lot of older content still probably won't be able to climb as much, but as we have a much larger level design team now, we are able to make more stuff climbable and also design stuff that's more traversal oriented.
Can we go
Automated
back
tools
and
got a lot
fix
better
old
as well.
things
That's
more?
Automated.
Like, I hope now that the level design team is bigger that they go back and they fix things from the old shit and, as part of their initiatives instead of always just making new
Color
shit.
generation is now a thing. So level designers don't have to go and manually place a couple of points as well.
that was
which is
awful.
very nice.
Yeah. Still have to double check it though.
Yeah.
Yeah.
You don't know. Don't turn it all over to the machine like Amazon.
Dude needs a haircut ASAP. Just because you have no hair and no job and no bitches doesn't mean that you have to pick on somebody that has all those things.
Yeah, exactly.
Okay.
What is the status on swimming?
Fully implemented in Squadron 42. Will be
Oh
coming
my
to PU
God.
in the future.
Yeah,
Okay.
just
Easy enough.
Yeah.
repeat that over and over again.
We've said fully implemented in Squadron 42 a couple times.
Yeah,
Yes.
can we?
How different is FPS in Squad? Yes, he's going for the paper.
Going for the paper.
How different? I don't care. The money did not go to Squadron. That's the part that drives me nuts. Is a very small amount of the money went to Squadron, but all of the money goes to Squadron. You scumbag Twitch. Guys, I signed up to not have that
Hey,
happen.
Rich said, don't get in trouble. He's like, I'll allow you to answer this.
I signed up to not have that happen. I have a Chrome extension. That was not supposed to happen, but it did. No matter what, I guess they still go offline, and when they go offline,
if you're not going to get in trouble.
it doesn't matter.
Okay.
Now I've got to find it.
Challenge impossible.
So
Which is the worst.
the question is, I'll cover for him while he searches for his paper. How different is FPS in Squadron 42 compared to Star Citizen, and what lessons from polishing there can we expect to come to Star Citizen?
Okay, so there has basically been a lot of work on the player character. So from minor things in terms of like the how actions automate into each other. So we have something called the sprint toggle now, which is the default, which essentially means like if I'm sprinting and I shoot, I have sprint to fire, so I don't start shooting when I'm down here. It comes back up, it's natural, it feels good. Even the new sprint pose, which is like up here, which includes like head bob. All of these things massively improve the experience that you get to as you play the games. Like previously when we were doing in 2023, when we showed off all the FPS improvements at SitCon, where you think like
no mention of
reloading.
desync, but
yeah, you think
he
like
might get to it.
ammo repooling and things like that. We're waiting on these things in Squadron and obviously polishing them up for the release. And all of the things that we are working on in Squadron will come to the PU in future. The action matrix is the biggest one. We've got like sprinting while reloading. We've really been spending a lot of time dialing in that FPS experience and making it feel really polished. And even like sprinting now, like it's a really big thing for me because the gun goes down here, it goes off screen, you can't see it. When it's up here and you feel like you're running and things like that, it just feels a lot more polished. It's very nice. It's the FPS experience basically has been dialed in a lot more. There is a bunch of stuff which escapes the top of my head right now. But
You have your notes.
I accidentally deleted the question. I realized.
Oh, you want to come over here?
Yeah, go on.
Come over here.
Go on.
Yeah,
Yeah, because this was one I had to ask Rich for. Very nice.
There you go. Go ahead.
Thank you I get to sit in the chair.
Yeah, go sit in the chair.
Perfect.
You've been good today.
There you go. So yeah, as we said, with movement accelerations, melee improvements, that's a big one. So hey, you're not randomly going to go in front of you anymore. It's there's nicer animations there. How it follows up feels better.
Okay.
Weapons having consistent slots. So for people who have to constantly switch around and do those things, I know it's very annoying, but that is now like cool. I have weapon 1, I have weapon 2. They have consistent slots.
Yeah, that means if I
the
click
action
1,
matrix.
it goes to 1.
Oh yeah, for example, sprinting and med penning now, if you press sprint, you press your med pen button, your med pen, then you automatically go back to sprinting. So sprint toggle, beautiful.
Okay, that's good.
And yeah, my favorite one, weapon raise 2.0. So as you know right now, if you go up to a surface, you do this. We now have a procedural back like that, and it's very, very nice. We've also moved the pushback point to the optic. So for people who want to aim over railings and shoot over railings, you can now do that. The FPS experience overall is
Sounds
far more
good.
smoother to play. FPS AI has basically been overhauled. Francesco Riccucci and Chris Roberts have been themselves very involved in that process as well. Chris has been very keen on making the AI experience in Squadron, so they've been working very closely together. Entirely new audio setup for guns. The guns sound absolutely amazing. The audio work on them has been incredible, not just
I think a lot of you guys get worried about stuff like that. I don't, guys. Chris codes. Chris does a lot of coding. I forgot the last thing that he did, but it was one of the things that works really well. So I think he still does coding. So the last thing I remember him like that he said on camera that he was coding was like one of the things that worked well.
It's the sound that you hear, but also the mixing. So that's
it was not
basically
docking.
how loud shots are, how they feel. So if someone's down the other hallway and they're firing, it sounds like they're down the hallway, and it is honestly gorgeous. And yeah, all of that is
I remember it being something physics related.
planned to come to the persistent universe.
He's better than you.
Perfect.
He didn't even have his eye line right. He kept looking at himself on the screen.
How can I not look at myself?
You gotta look at the camera like this, see? You gotta look down the camera like this. But he spent the entire time, he wasn't talking to you, he was talking to himself the whole time.
I'm not surprised.
We've got a
it's Zach.
question in here. What
No. Go back. Don't trip over stuff.
I'll try.
All right. Good job, Zach.
Thank you.
Oh, you kicked my cable out.
Oh, damn.
It's all right. Talk amongst yourselves.
Oh, shit.
I give you a topic.
Okay.
No.
All good.
We are almost out of time. We can squeeze a couple more in these. Why is the boom tube dealing so much damage?
Okay, this is Rich told me to be
cares?
very careful with this one as
'Cause
well,
it's
but I actually do
fun.
have this one written down.
Desync!
Because Rich said you can't say, oh, it's not.
Bro, they
So,
need to start
why is it
spamming
doing
desync in
boom
the
tube dealing
Twitch
so much
chat.
damage? Well, basically, as we said, we're going to be looking at balance, we're going to be looking at damage and those things, especially with crafting coming more online, especially with armor coming more online, like you said, with the heavy armor, with the max resistance and things like that. But the hardest thing with the boom tube,
They address the desync at the end.
is the diversity
Okay,
of vehicles.
I'll calm
in the
down.
game.
Thank
the
you.
diversity of the health between a light fighter, a ground vehicle, a heavy vehicle is, it's a complicated game, especially when you mix all those things together. But most importantly, this is something we're looking at. I've already come up with a couple of ideas of what we want to do, like increasing the arming distance. Like there was a clip on Reddit recently where someone just shot it in a ship and the ship blew up because they were raiding on. But yeah, so it's something we're looking at and keeping an eye on. If you take a boom tube into an encounter, you're sacrificing a weapon slot. You're sacrificing the ability to fight other people, fight other NPCs. So it's a heavy cost versus the reward you get for how slow the projectile is and how much spread it has.
We're also doing a bit of a refactor on the way explosions deal damage to actors, because right now an explosion deals 6 times the damage to the player because it hits their head, arms, legs, body. So you have to balance it weirdly, like so that one explosion would do like just 100 damage to that table, but to you would do 600 damage. So it's really hard to balance. So we're making it so that any explosion will do 100 damage to the player. Divided by depends where it hits them to how much damage they take, and it'll still just do 100 damage to an object.
Okay. Is med penning yourself in a down state still a planned feature?
Yeah.
Yes,
I hope so.
That is still a planned feature.
Rich mentioned
and
it.
The plan is to move it to the Adrena pen. So basically, if you get downed, you'll enter a down but not out state. That's also fully implemented in Squadron. But Squadron has expensive self-revive pens. It's obviously MMO, single-player game. But yes, so that is still planned. And let me just check my notes, see if there's any other caveats there.
Wow,
but
It'll be an Adrena pen.
That is the most Squadron 42 gameplay information I've ever heard. Was that he said expensive pens. So, like, are we buying, like, is there, that was like a little interesting thing.
For rezzing other players as well.
yes, that's the other bit. You'll need the Adrena pen for other people. So you can crawl around on the floor.
Which is odd when he talked about the med pen, he didn't mention this. Or the med gun, he didn't mention this. That sounds like it's killing some of the huge advantages of a med gun.
Traditional down but not out.
What is impact force in crafting?
Damage.
Is there anything?
So impact force, so if that was a quick one, what is impact force in crafting? There is not a damage modifier on the crafting table. It says impact force. That's what damage means. Okay. So that's just confirming that.
Planned to make something stronger than heavy armor.
Yes.
Yep.
Super heavy?
And that is not just a new armor set either. That comes with a lot of restrictions, specific weapon classes, and things like that. So I think one of the things is you're not going to be able to heal yourself.
Yep, you're not going to be able to heal yourself. You're going to have a super heavy weapon.
Yeah.
But you can use other weapons. It'll just be,
Yeah.
why would you in this extremely
Yeah.
restricted thing? It's all about, you need the support. Like, because while you're there and you've got the big gun, you're unstoppable. But the moment people start chipping away your health, if you can't pull out that pen and heal yourself, you need a teammate there, otherwise you're going to very quickly become vulnerable.
Like a medic archetype of some kind.
That's the tank, I guess. Okay, or what is it? What, like a CC tank?
Yeah.
Kind of.
That pretty much does it for today's show, guys. Thank you so much. I do want to address something in the chat here. A lot of questions in chat, rightfully so, about desync.
I hope they understand. It's like specific FPS desync that does not happen to ships.
There's probably no greater challenge that's affecting FPS combat and gameplay today than desync. The reason Luke, Zach, and Sam aren't talking about it today is because they're designers. They do not work in the network coding, the server infrastructure, any of the areas where desync rests.
Of course
To that
not.
end, I'm going to go ahead and volunteer our own Chief Technology Officer, Benoit Beauséjour, and I'm doing this right now on the fly. He doesn't know about it. It's not a gag. I'm seriously doing it. So if it doesn't happen, you can blame me and not him. Benoit used to do these big, long posts on Spectrum where he'd walk through one major technical issue or another. I'm going to walk out of here and ask him to do that for desync. It's not a conversation that I think super works in conversation like this. He's also one of the only people at the level to have the full overview and umbrella look at everything involved that contributes to it. So,
not enough, too late. So if they talked about it now on the show and they talk about it in 2 days, it's too late. Bro, come on.
I'm going to ask him, and I'm going to go ahead and commit him and say yes right now. I still have 1 or 2 favors to call in. So I don't know when that's going to happen, but he's here. He lands here on Saturday. The first time I see him, I'm going to ask him to make this a priority and see if we can't get this going. Because I agree with you. I think it's an important thing.
Your logic's
and
broken,
I think the
Nelson.
best way for us to talk about it is probably in a detailed post where, people can reread and read the information and parse the information. So we'll see how successful I am at that. But my promise to you is that I'm going to try.
Weird. I guess like one argument here would be like, you saw all the questions. Why didn't you ask them to do that now and get an answer now? But,
Benoit is a pretty good dude, so I imagine it'll happen.
Spectrum pokes don't fix anything. Neither do SCLs. All right.
With that, that's Star Citizen Live. Thanks for watching. We've had a nice little streak of Star Citizen Lives. This is either our 4th or our 5th episode in a row. Next week, we're back with an episode of Inside Star Citizen, looking at a bunch of the various content that's coming with Alpha 4.7, as stated, targeted for the end of this month. Available for PTU now. You can help us, as always, getting into PTU and helping us test and beat on the pipes and make issue council reports and everything. Yeah, sorry. I'm realizing that I just signed Benoit up for a thing, and I'm already thinking about what I'm going to have to say. Nobody say anything publicly until he hears it from me. Like, I'm realizing he's now going to see it on Reddit or something before.
There is 2 days before you're. I guess depends what time on Saturday.
Better text him.
Hold on.
He's going to message him now.
Hold on. We're gonna throw a Hail Mary, guys.
At Benoit in the chat.
Stay with me. We're gonna try calling him right now.
Okay.
Why not?
What time is it in Canada? Are they awake?
It's
Yes.
Montreal, right?
Yeah.
That's
Teams would like access to the camera. Have I
5
never
hours
been to
behind.
Teams
Oh
call?
wait, no, it's 4 I think right now because of the daylight savings.
Oh yeah. Ah, that'll be all right.
Let's see if he picks up. I'm not, it's not a gag. We're calling. We're going to try. Hi, Benoit. Can you hear me? Oh, hold on. I mute in case. Can you hear me now?
I can hear you.
Hi,
Yes.
we are live on Star Citizen Live right now.
Sweet. What's going on?
We just did a show about
Oh my God.
FPS combat and gameplay, and the overwhelming topic in chat was about desync.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, so
He just goes, oh yeah.
I volunteered. Remember those big long posts you used to do on Spectrum about a really important topic?
Yeah.
I volunteered you to make one of those,
Okay.
and then
On desync specifically.
on desync specifically, and what's causing it, and what our efforts to
Don't care what's causing
fix it. And
It's all good.
I realized
Fix it.
I didn't want you to hear about it on Reddit first.
Okay, cool. So just a deep dive.
Just a deep dive on desync and why it's happening.
All things desync and networking.
Yeah, I think it's
Cool.
important.
How hard can
Sounds
it be?
good. We'll do it.
Yeah.
Sorry, can you hear that? Can you say that again?
We're good. I'll do it.
All right. Thank you, Benoit.
Thank you guys.
All right.
Have a good one.
All right, bye.
Yeah, he's like, all right, fuck off.
He's never taken a call from you again.
Yeah.
He's never answering a call from me. That's it, chat. I just used up the last stroke I got. Thanks for
He would've
watching.
done it
See you on
anyway.
Inside Star Citizen next week. Take care. Check out the weekly newsletter tomorrow. There's something cool in there too. Bye.
Hey.
Okay. Maybe a sneak peek or something. All right. That was a pretty good episode. I think hearing about the armors was kind of nice. Super heavy is a weird one. Maybe nerfing the med gun quite a bit, it sounds like, because it sounds like reviving is changing, which is a big deal, I think. So requiring more group play and less range. So that's interesting. But outside of that, big disappointment, not mentioning Stormbreaker rewards. But I think like what we heard already is they know, they're on top of it. It's already a change that's coming at some point. And then trying to think of what else. Some of the big things that Zach mentioned, like the gun that goes up, that's really annoying. That changing is good, and a lot of the stuff that's in Squadron. But it's hard to get excited over things that are in Squadron because they're in Squadron and they're not here, and we never know when we're going to get them. We were supposed to get 0G push and pull a month after we got the new EVA system, and we never did. Right? So it's hard to ever take any things that are in Squadron and expect them to come to Squadron right after they talk about them, because they probably won't. We all understand and know that they're very heavily on Squadron, and that's it. As much as I hate it, it is what it is. But that was SEL. Thank you for watching with me on Twitch. So hit the follow button if you're new there. I appreciate it. And thanks for watching it on YouTube, because I'll obviously be posting that there as well. So I'll catch you guys later.